Annick, a small market town in Northumberland, spelled Alnwick but pronounced Annick. Home to around 8,400 people and watched over by a castle that has stood here for more than 900 years. Set on the River Aln, about 34 miles north of Newcastle upon Tyne, and roughly 5 miles inland from the coast at Alnwick, Annick is quiet, steady, and deeply historic from the moment you arrive. Its name comes from the River Aln and the Old English word wick, meaning a farm or settlement. The town's story reaches back to the 7th century, and it grew as a river crossing and a small agricultural centre serving the surrounding countryside. The first stone parts were built shortly after the Norman conquest, in the late 11th century. Film fans know it from the early Harry Potter movies, where it appeared as Hogwarts, and from Downton Abbey, where it featured as Brancaster Castle. Because Annick sat close to the old Anglo-Scottish border, it faced centuries of raids and conflict. The medieval town walls were built for protection, with 4 main gateways controlling entry. Most of the walls are gone now, but Bondgate Tower, also known as the Hotspur Gate, still stands proudly on the road into town. Long before motorways, Annick was also a key stop on the Great North Road between London and Edinburgh. Today, the town centre still feels like a true market town. The marketplace, surrounded by stone buildings and traditional shops, still hosts regular markets that have taken place here for centuries. The parish church of St. Michael sits on the edge of the old town, between the market square and the castle, with views down to the River Aln. One of Annick's most loved places is Barter Books. Set inside the old Victorian railway station, closed to passengers in the 1960s, it is now one of the largest second-hand bookshops in Europe. The shelves run through old waiting rooms, a cafe fills the station buffet, and model trains glide above your head. It's a place where the town's history lives quietly in every corner. Next to the castle is the Alnwick Garden, a modern garden created in the late 1990s. It is home to the Grand Cascade, the famous poison garden, and the world's largest orchard of Taihaku cherry trees, which burst into white blossom each spring. There is even a large wooden treehouse raised high in the branches, now used as a restaurant and event space. On paper, Annick is small. The 2021 census counted just over 8,000 residents. It serves nearby villages with primary schools and Duchess's Community High School for secondary education. People work in tourism, local shops, public services, small businesses, and in the wider county of Northumberland. Many commute south towards Newcastle using the A1, the major road that runs just east of town. The original railway station is gone, but the nearest mainline station is at Alnwick, about 3 miles away, connecting the area to Newcastle, Edinburgh, and the rest of the East Coast Main Line. Local buses link Annick to the coast and the countryside. So what makes Annick feel distinctly British? The market square that still hosts real markets. A castle that's both a lived-in family home and a global film location. A modern garden filled with cherry trees and fountains, sitting beside a traditional high street where people shop, chat, and live their everyday routines. And a bookshop in an old railway station, where trains once ran and stories now take their place. Annick is a blend of old and new, local and global, historic and lived in. A working town that happens to have one of England's most recognisable castles above its rooftops. So if you ever see the sign for Annick while driving the A1, it's worth taking the turn. Because tucked behind that castle silhouette is a town full of history, character and calm. And that, my friend, is the British way.